Hey guys, today I wanted to show you how to remarry a Blu-ray drive on a PS3. Now, to do this, you're gonna need to have a PS3 that's already been jailbroken. Doesn't matter what custom firmware it's running. Preferably CEX custom firmware, but DEX does work as well. I personally haven't tried DEX, so I suggest you switch to CEX if you're able to. Now, slim PS3s, there's a few different models. There's the 2001 A and B. Those are typically the ones that you need to remarry. The drive looks like this. You can see that. This is just the top casing, but it looks like this. Now the other models of slims are the 25 XXX, whatever. Those have these types of drives. As you can tell, this has this yellow sticker at the top. These drives you never need to remarry. So if your PS3 is a CCH25XXX whatever numbers, you can just buy one of these drives and just put it in and it'll work right away. The 25XXX series, Sony actually implemented the Blu-ray drive board into the actual PS3 motherboard, so it always has a married drive. The CCH2001s or 2100 or anything like that actually has a board inside the drive. So typically you can just buy a replacement drive like this, or like this one back here, and then take apart your old drive, take this whole board out right here, and there's the laser ribbon cable, and then you just replace this board into the new drive and it'll work right away. Now sometimes, for whatever reason, this board actually dies, and that's when remarrying comes in handy, because then you can buy a new replacement drive, put it in with a board that's not married, and remarry it. This will also work for fat PS3s. You have to make sure that the drive that you put into your fat PS3 is compatible with your PS3. There's a few different models. Let me grab one really quick. So here's a couple of fat PS3 Blu-ray drives. This one here, I believe, is for a CCH P series. As you can tell, it has a tiny ribbon cable over here, and then the power cable. And then there's these other ones that are used for CCHK, CCHLs, and a couple of other ones. Don't quote me exactly on which models, because I can't remember. There's a list that I'll have in the description. But as you can tell, this one has a big ribbon cable, so obviously this drive wouldn't fit on a console that had this drive with a small ribbon. So yeah, just make sure you buy the right Blu-ray drive. They may look the same, but internally they're not the same at all. Anyways, to continue with this, what you're going to need to do this is a computer. As always, pretty much you need a computer for any sort of tutorial that I create. A USB flash drive, which is going to have all the ReMarry files. You also need a jig. A jig is a device that you use to put your PS3 into factory service mode. Now there's a few different options that you have. I personally use this graphing calculator that I got way back in high school. It works just fine for me. You can also use a PSP if you have one. But probably the easiest way to do it is to just buy a jig that's already made to do this specifically, and I'll have a link in the description to where you can buy one of those. If you have one of these calculators, you should already know how to use it and how to install programs, so I'm not going to go over that, but I will show you how to use this if you do have one of these. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started here. First off, you'll want to go over to your computer and download the files that we need. Alright, so over on your computer, go to this URL. It will be posted in the video's description as always. And download this file here. Just download that to your desktop. Alright, after that's done downloading, go ahead and extract the contents using 7-zip or WinRAR. I'll have a link in the description for 7-zip. That's personally what I like to use. If you want to use it, go ahead and do so. So just extract here, and it'll extract into this folder here. Now go ahead and plug in your flash drive and format it as FAT32. So right click on it, format FAT32. After that's done, go ahead and open that up. And then open up this PS3 BD ReMarry folder and just copy everything over to the flash drive. Alright, so after that's transferred, go ahead and close this out. You won't need it again. Go into the PS3 folder and then the update folder. This is on your flash drive. And rename this PS3 UPDAT underscore 3.55 rogero downgrader RSOD to just PS3 UPDAT.pup. And now we can go ahead and eject the flash drive, and we'll go over to the PS3. Alright, so go ahead and plug in your controller, turn on the console, and then plug in your flash drive that we just created on the computer. This is going to contain the Rogero 3.55 downgrader. Go ahead and do a system update on your console via storage media if you're on the XMB screen, or you can hold down the power button until your console beeps twice, and then you'll be on the recovery menu and you can do a system update there. Now remember, this has to be on a jailbroken console, or you could have original firmware running 3.55. That'll work as well. So go ahead and get that installed. This does take a few minutes, so be patient. I'll go ahead and stop recording right now, and then I'll start recording once the update has completed. Alright, so here we go. We're back on the XMB screen. Now if you go into your system settings and system info, it should show as version 3.55. Now the next thing we need to do is put the console into factory service mode. In the USB that we just created, there are a couple of package files here that may or may not work for you. This one here is for CEX consoles, and this one is for DEX consoles. So you're welcome to go ahead and install it and see if it works for you. I personally haven't had any luck with it, but you can try it out, and if it works for you, then you won't need a jig. Now for me, it's never worked before, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my calculator here as a jig. And remember, if you don't have a calculator like mine, you can look in the description and there will be a link to a jig that you can purchase on Amazon. So I'll go ahead and just record this part on my camera since there isn't any sort of video that I can capture. Alright, so to get your console into factory service mode with one of these, you need to go to apps, and you should have a PS3 Jailbreak app. Now in here you can just press 1 and just connect this to your PS3. That's just connected via this USB cable that was connected to the controller. Go ahead and unplug any flash drives or any other accessories. Turn the console off. And now pay attention to the light over here. What you need to do is press the power button and then press the eject button right after. Now if your jig works, the console should not turn on. It should just turn off, and then the next time you turn it on, it'll be a completely different screen. Now as you can tell right now, it didn't work, so I'll try it again. If it doesn't work the first time, you might want to unplug the power. And then you also might want to switch the port that you're using over to the rightmost port. So we'll try it again. Again, that's power and eject right away. And your console should just turn off. Should have a green light, and then it should just go red. Now you can go ahead and unplug your calculator or your jig and turn the console on like you would normally, just to make sure you're in factory service mode. Now, as you can tell, factory service mode is this gray screen, and you'll have this giant factory service mode square at the bottom right. It doesn't matter where you go on the XMB screen, it'll always be there. So once you've got that done, go ahead, actually just to prove that the console is not married, I'll go ahead and put in a disc. Now as you can tell here, it's not reading the game at all. But this is a perfectly working drive. So I'll take the disc out and then turn the console off. Now go ahead and plug in your flash drive again. onto the rightmost USB port, and then press the power button. Your console will turn on to this screen. You need to make sure that drive INIT turns blue. It flashes blue very quickly. If it flashes yellow or it gives you an error code, then you need to try again and hope that it works. If for some reason it doesn't work, then either you don't have the Blu-ray drive plugged in all the way, or the board on the Blu-ray drive is faulty. So go ahead and unplug your flash drive now, and then turn the console on like you would normally. Now you'll get the same screen again. Now, while you're at this screen, it's recommended that you get a Blu-ray movie like this. This is Batman Begins. The newer the movie, the better. Apparently there's certain files on the Blu-ray disc that actually need to be copied over into the drive, and this can only happen while the console is in factory service mode. So go ahead and put in the disc and just let it run for a minute or two. So after you've started the movie and everything's playing, everything's fine, go ahead and quit out. Go ahead and eject the disc. And now we need to go back to the computer and rename a few files. Alright, so here on your computer, go ahead and plug in your flash drive. And then in the flash drive, you can go ahead and delete all this stuff. If you're going to reuse it again, just put it in a different folder. So all this stuff except for the PKG files. So it should look something like that. Now go into the PS3 folder first. Go in the update folder and then rename this one to Rogero 3.55 Downgrader, and rename this KMEAW 3.55 to just PS3 UPDAT.PUP. Then go back and then go into this get out of FSM folder and copy this file and go back and paste it here and then rename it to just lv2 diag.self. Now you can go ahead and eject the flash drive and we'll go back to the PS3. Alright, so back on the PS3, first off go ahead and turn it off. Now go ahead and plug in your flash drive to the rightmost USB port. Make sure there's no other accessories plugged in, and press the power button. Your console shouldn't show any picture, but pay attention to the power button here. It should go green and then turn off. It should flash yellow a couple of times and then turn green, and then the console will turn on. So here we're back on Rogero 3.55 downgrader. And this PKG file, you can go ahead and delete that. Now you want to test your drive and make sure that you are able to play games now. So here's a PS3 disc. I'll go ahead and put that in there and make sure it actually reads games now. So there we go, we've got a working drive and it's remarried now. So now that we've confirmed that, go ahead and exit out to the XMB again. Take the disk out. And now go into install package files and install Toggle QA. Now go ahead and run Toggle QA. Your console will shut off and beep 3 times. After the console is back on, go over to settings and network settings, and while hovering over this, press R1, R2, L1, L2, both thumbsticks, and down on the D-pad at the same time. And you'll get these debug settings. Go into the debug settings and go down to System Update Debug and turn that on. Now go ahead and just turn off your console. Then turn the console back on. Now go over to Settings, System Update, and Update via Storage Media. This should show version 3.55. This is KMEAW's 3.55 custom firmware. Go ahead and install that. And once again, this takes a few minutes, so I'll cut the video here and then show you again once it's back on. Alright, so here we are back on the XMB screen. This is on KMEAW 3.55. you can go ahead and delete the toggle QA package file. And then at this point you can go ahead and install any custom firmware that you'd like to. So personally I suggest Rebug 4.7.1. It's what I use on all of my consoles. But you can go ahead and install Rogero or Habib or whatever other custom firmware you'd like to. But yeah, that's it for my Blu-ray remarrying tutorial. If you found that video helpful or informative, please remember to like, comment, favorite, or share this video. If you enjoy my videos, you may want to subscribe as well. I know I haven't been as active as I have before, but hopefully that will change here in the near future and I can make more tutorials. So if you have any ideas, suggestions, or requests, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to fulfill those requests. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching.